champion, the Octopus, Jonathan Gresham.
Gresham has been performing on a higher level than I've ever seen him before. Not just in IWC, but everywhere. Frequent tours of Europe, a career-making performance in Ring of Honor, tying Ring of Honor World Champion Jay Lethal in an Iron Man match, forcing overtime. Gresham got the first fall in that match. If that Iron Man match had been one fall, Gresham would be Ring of Honor World Champion today. And there you see the prize he is defending. IWC Super Indy Championship dates back to 2002. And I don't think there's a better pound-for-pound pure technical wrestler in this country today, if not the world, than Jonathan Gresham.
Well, sure, but staring across the ring from him is no easy task. No walk in the park. You're looking at a man with a focus and, frankly, the willingness to go to as dark of a side as he needs to get that Super Indy Championship. It has been a nagging problem for him that he has never quite figured out how to solve, and he wants it now.
We have a rather split crowd. Respect for both these athletes and what they've accomplished. How do you not appreciate what these men have meant to Super Indy? Not just Gory's 10-month reign on top. Gresham, 3 straight years a Super Indy finalist. Finally won the big one this year. Only one other man has been a three-peater in Super Indy finalists back-to-back-to-back. Gresham making history and delivering. Facade did it for 3 years. Gresham did it for 3 years. Gresham wants to eclipse all others before him. But you know as well as I do, Jay Worth, you've been here, that list is a who's who of who stepped through the doors of this organization.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to downplay his ability or his research, but I'm not sure he's seen the list of people he has just challenged by saying that.
Well, I guarantee you, since he made that challenge, he's been able to study it.
Yeah, I like to think he probably swallowed hard on a couple of those when someone showed him the names that are on.
But you know what? I bet he didn't back down.
Oh, at no point. He'll accept the challenge. It's just it's a big bite to take.
Both these men can be lightning quick in their own way. Gresham in the way he snaps on holds, Gory in his frenetic ring style as far as aerial attacks.
And Gory there with a nice snap headlock takeover.
Now, you notice here a tentative pace from both athletes. Gory likes to explode out of the box, but he knows if Gresham traps him, if Gresham has one chance to create a weakness, it could be a world of pain for the rest of the body of the match.
There's a reason he's the Octopus. Those attacks can come from your side, from above, from where you are not expecting, and Gory knows that. So it's slow going in the beginning as they feel each other out.
And Gresham can contort you in so many different directions, so many different ways. It's almost like he's got twice as many advantages as he does. I mean, the things he can do, the manipulation of joints, the just anatomical dissection Gresham does in that ring, it's without peer in my estimation, present day.
I mean, look at these rolls. Oh, look at that.
And Gresham finds the arm. Gresham just loves to zero in on a body part and just completely, step-by-step, tear it apart.
We've seen him take apart people's arms several times.
I noticed Gory has matched Gresham move for move, counterhold for counterhold. A slight momentary bit of frustration from Gresham. Will Gory be able to sneak inside the mind of Gresham and potentially spread the infection?
Oh, if he gets the opportunity, you know he will try. However, right now, I hate to say it, but I don't think that's his focus. I think his sheer focus is trying to find the way in, not necessarily what he'll do once he's there.
It is a big fight feel in the White Oak Athletic Association, which was the site, to give you a history lesson, of the second night of the largest Super Indy tournament in history. This was the site of Super Indy 2 as well, won by Colt Cabana in 2003. A lot of history with this championship in this building, and now Gresham gets inside the head of Gory.
Oh, and I don't know that that's a place he wants to be. You open that door, the darkness comes out.
Gory's biggest weapon in that ring is his ferocity. Gresham's is his precision. We are seeing a chess match in the early moments.
And a bit of distraction. And Gresham gets a leg hold.
Gresham makes everything look so fluid, so smooth, so seamless. Gresham can do 5 or 6 different things to you, and it just looks and feels like one motion.
He has the... In MMA, there's what's called the rubber guard. Occasionally I've heard it referred to as spider guard, but mostly the rubber guard, which is the longer the limbs you have, the easier it is for you to slip in and out and around a guard. And you use that to your advantage. I find Gresham is able to get into these holds and these locks with the ease of a man who should be much taller than him. He doesn't have the longest arms, he doesn't have the longest legs, but he moves with that fluidity and that ease.
Gresham with a variation of an Indian deathlock a moment ago. Gory attempted to release the leg from the grasp of his own leg. Gresham, he's a tough striker as well, keeps Gory off his game. Gory gets to the ropes, and everything Gresham did there played into your point. Gresham had locked in that leg lock, that toe hold. He was over top of Gory. He was away from Gory's grasp. Now we get a forced break, and it took referee Williams several moments to untangle these men. That's how tight the hold was.
Gresham was not able to extract himself from his own submission hold.
I was stuck, man. Don't you push me that far.
And Gory get a little bit fired up over how long it took to break that hold. Gresham's explaining that was not intentional.
You know that Gory deals well in the land of anger.
Well,
this may be what he needs.
It's the place he's called home for most of his life. And Gresham is not going to back down, though. And to your point, if the matchup goes this route, I'm going to say advantage Gory. Remains to be seen, though. That's history, not prophecy.
Yep, very true. If this get...
And Gresham explodes. Gory was not expecting that in the least.
And you can see the look on Gresham's face. I think the seeds of that anger are still in there with him. He's going to need to keep watch. Oh!
Gresham in the corner of the boot. The follow through. And now Gresham bringing out some of that relentlessness. But Gory, a step quicker than Gresham, a step ahead mentally. Trips Gory up. Hesitation drop kick.
And those long strides across the ring, he got nice and tight in before exploding that drop kick into Gory's face. Gory's still struggling to get up. And this is right where I'm surprised Gresham picked him up. Ooh.
Well, I think that may be, in an odd way, a sign of respect from Gresham, because Gresham knows if he's going to put Gory away, he's going to put in a long night of work.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I've said it time and time again. Gory might be the single toughest individual I've seen in IWC.
Pound for pound, certainly. Gresham with a clothesline.
I've seen him take beatings.
Well, could be it, though.
And attacks and tortures and occasionally stun guns and get up and keep fighting.
Another 2 count. But to that point, has Gory ever encountered anyone in IWC quite like Jonathan Gresham?
Has there been anyone in IWC quite like Jonathan Gresham?
I mean, that's a very fair question.
I mean, I would say if you want to talk precision, you might be able to...
That's neck breaker by Gory.
You might be able to discuss I don't even know who. possibly low-key. But low-key doesn't have the grappling skills that Jonathan Gresham clearly does.
Certainly not.
And that zero resistance clothesline connected by Gory.
Springboard, dropkick connects flush. Gresham dazed, may have landed on the back of his head. Gory, the knee hook of the leg, only finds 2. And Gory hesitates for a bit. You gotta wonder what's going through Gory's mind, what he feels his strategy is, what he feels his comfort level is right now.
Well, I think my thought is if he goes upstairs, he has to feel somewhat comfortable.
Well, Gresham rolled out of harm's way, whether it was instinct or whether we saw Gory coming, but there's no avoiding the fight. When Gory gets that thirst for flesh, he is untamed, but Gresham pushes off Gory. And Gory lands hard on the knee. And Gresham didn't need an invitation.
Quick to capitalize. And you saw his knee buckle a little as he landed and sort of slide out from under him.
And you can hear Gory just wincing and crying out in pain. And it's not often that Gory expresses discomfort like that.
Yeah. He tends to try and be as stoic as possible.
And Gresham just zeroes in on that target.
Oh! And that ankle tweaked around. And this is classic Gresham right here.
Oh, without a doubt.
Find a weakness and then figure out every way possible to exploit it.
I noticed the ring positioning. Gory could not be more in the center of the ring than he is now. That's not an accident. Gresham hooks the leg. Notice Gresham cinched up on that bad leg, so Gory would need to use more torque to kick out.
Nope.
Roll through. Gory to his... Oh, Gory adjusts around the knee, spikes Gresham with the DDT.
Just swung through and DDT right down. That's Gory in a nutshell. Right
could have him? No.
For all of the anger, for all of the blackness that's in him, you can't forget that there is a fluid, masterful wrestler there as well.
If Gory wins this matchup, he becomes a 3-time Super Indy champion. That'll put him in rare company. Less than a handful of men before in IWC history can claim that fact.
How many others?
And Gory you could see just the laboring of just standing, and Gory tried to run in for the QAS. Gresham has neutralized the QAS. They keep brought up by Gresham. Into the ankle lock.
And I don't know that I've ever heard Gory scream out in pain like that.
I have never heard that in my life. I've been around this athlete for almost 15 years. And especially with that vertical stance, Jay, it doesn't just twist the ankle, it bends that knee as well and wrenches it.
True, plus all of the damage that Gresham has already done to it. Now just re-aggravating it.
And Gory's gotten to his feet. Alleviate some of that pressure. Oh. Look at this. German bridge. No.
Had the leg trapped, got him up, released the leg, and just dropped him onto the back of his neck.
Notice Gresham never let up on the leg. That is a key point of this matchup. Never let go, never gave Gory a chance to re-strategize. Gory was never out of the grasp of Gresham the entire time. And perhaps Gresham, maybe that kick for good measures to almost try to tell Gory to stay down for your own good.
Either that or maybe he has a whole set of new back submissions he wants to try out. Either.
They lock eye to eye for the first time in a good while. And Gory, you look in the eyes, the window to the soul. Gory has an opportunity. And back to the knee. On their feet, Gory could adjust, but one shot to that knee, and Gory back in a bad way.
Gory now has a reset button, and Gresham knows it. Every time he starts to get a little offense going, Gresham goes right back to that leg, sets it right back to square one, and then starts working the leg again.
Shoulders down here. Gory did not submit, but if those shoulders had been down for 3 seconds, this match would be over. Gory in a bad way at this point in time. Again, dead center of the ring. The figure 4 punishing 7 different parts of the lower human anatomy. Gory can roll through and counter here. He has. You gotta believe it's still wrenching his own bad knee. No, Gresham has alleviated. He stopped the counter, I believe.
Twisted it. Oh, no, back around.
Now Gory's got the counter. Gresham was never fully turned over until now. And now back around still. And Gory reaching for the rope, but Gresham repositions the weight. Every time Gory reaches for that rope, Gresham rolls away.
Cinches down. There we go.
Finally to the rope is Gory. And an exclamation of relief from Gory that at least for a moment the agony has subsided.
And Gresham, I gotta say, there's a hint of frustration on his face. He has put some punishment into Gory, and Gory refuses to give up.
And Gory may not have the miles traveled with the mainstream success of a Jay Lethal, but that doesn't make him any less tougher. That doesn't make him a walk in the park. And if Gresham underestimated one of the greatest Super Indy athletes in history, then shame on him. But I think Gresham realizes that to slay the monster, you got to bring out a little monster yourself.
I don't think it's so much a question of how much is this going to take.
Wait, Gory, the inside cradle! A near fall.
It's not how much is this going to take. It's how dark do I have to get with it.
Gresham drops down. Gory counters a sunset flip. Gresham back on top. Can you top this? It is 50-50 in a Super Indy title matchup.
Whoa.
No advantage for anybody. Gory on top, Gory on top! Oh, Gory almost leveraged it out of him. Half a second away. Gresham got caught off guard, but you only need 3 seconds to end the matchup and change your future.
Almost like you're trying to get your opponent dizzy enough that when you stop, they don't realize where they're at and whether or not they're still rolling.
Yeah, that discombobulation only needs to have an effect for a brief moment in time to have an eternal result. As the referee Williams with the obligatory 10 count, Gresham and Gory fighting to their feet. Yeah, we're not going to have any double countouts here, that's for sure.
And Gory having trouble standing, having trouble moving, but still getting enough base to throw some strikes.
Oh. Yeah, Gory is staggered even before he struck. Gresham, a lot more sturdy base, but still getting rocked by the taller and perhaps more intense Gory. Man, talk about a dead heat. Who's going to give first?
Gonna say neither man's going to give up.
And this offense almost inadvertently firing up their opponents as Gresham hops back up and explodes. German, but Gory to his feet. Gory the double stomp, but he hurt his own knee coming down. Oh, lung blower hurt his knee even worse. All of Gory's offense, so much of it working against him. Near fall. And if Gory hadn't have stopped If Gory had not stopped to favor the knee, could he have gotten the extra couple seconds he needed to keep Gresham down?
Well, I feel Gory also didn't really get the pressure on the pin that he wanted because of it. He was laying awkwardly and couldn't adjust himself because of the knee.
What a hell of a Super Indy Championship matchup and the largest IWC record attendance for the White Oak Athletic Association. Gory with an ominous prognostication. Will he hit the QAS? Stepped it off! Gory's got it! No!
I think he baited him in by faking a tweak on the knee. Gresham tried to run in to take advantage and met a super kick. And then Gory, QAS.
That's the closest Gory's gotten yet. Trying to slap some feeling back in that knee.
No.
Smack it back into place. Roll through. Gresham. Hurricane Runaway, shoulders trapped. Gresham on top of the knee. Relentless approach. All of Gresham's body weight. And that rapid fire. Knee to the canvas.
Just slamming that knee into the canvas again and again and again.
Gory's trapped. Gresham got a killer instinct. The referee. Did the referee stop it?